This video is going to be a real mixed bag. If it fits! Woo! 2020, huh? Am I right, ladies? So far January of 2020 has been kicking my butt, but I just want to check in and give you a little bit of an update about 3 things that have gone on. So at the very beginning of the month, Christine Perry, who's a teacher at Toms River High School South, put together an event called Save the Arts, and it was a show of support for the arts programs in the Toms River School District. And Christine just wanted to make it known how important the arts are and how important it is to the people who participate in them. And so I was approached by the one, the only Gregory Johnson.
I'm Greg Johnson.
Yeah, that guy. To come out and film at High School South. We also got a few people on camera just kind of talking about what the arts mean to them. Some beautifully backlit hallways, light bouncing off the lockers, shot on the Sony a7S IIs, beautiful 60 frames per second. And so I went out there and I filmed, and then Greg and I, yes, that Greg,
I'm Greg Johnson,
cut the thing together, put it out into the world, and now it's living online. Go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Part of the reasons I've missed some uploads the last couple weeks was because I was working on something, talking a little more in depth for myself about the arts in the public school systems. And I wanted to make it good. I'm not necessarily spitballing in these videos, but most of what I'm doing just comes from my personal opinions. There aren't a lot of fact-based things, and for that video, I wanted to take a little bit of a deeper dive into the education system as a whole, do a little bit of my own research, and so I didn't want to rush it. And so I am still working on that video. It will be coming, and I think just the topic of arts in the public school, arts in education, I think it's something that I might want to take an even deeper dive than just a 5 to 6 minute YouTube video. And I talked a little bit about Greg.
I'm Greg Johnson.
Yes, Greg, again, about doing something with that, and that's all I'm gonna say for now. Back off. After that, I finished the new ifitfitz.com. Go check it out. This is it. This is it right here. I'm putting some images up from it right now. All built in WordPress with the fabulous Elementor plugin. I love challenging myself and I love learning new skills, but building a website is difficult. There are so many other elements that go into it other than it just looking good. So many things that are beyond my skill set that I'm interested in and I liked learning about, but things that I don't have a complete grasp on. I was not doing any coding, but still just making things responsive and not getting 10-second mobile load times, which by the way, I still am. It's tough. It's really tough. Anyway, go check out the site. Let me know what you think. And then the January short is live. It's called The Negotiation. It stars myself and Candice Fitzgerald, my wife. It stars my wife, Candice. And so this short was a tough short. This was hands down the fastest we have ever put a short together. I think January was kicking everyone's butt. We were all slammed, but we got it done right under the wire. And it ended up becoming another Candice and Chris short that Candice and I put out, which tend to be just these short little, maybe minute, 2-minute punchy things that we put out. Those shorts are a little near and dear to me because that's kind of how I started filmmaking. I made an original short film called The X, which maybe one day I'll talk about, but one of the very, very, very first things I ever did when I first got this DSLR that I'm filming on right now, the Canon T3i, was a little short called A Couple Watches Television. I think it's still living on this channel. I'll link to that right here. And that was kind of the birth of the Candice and Chris shorts. They obviously evolved a little bit more than that, not much, but they have. But it was really how I started filmmaking, started writing, working on lighting, working on recording sound. But I just like the idea of these little bite-sized chunks that are essentially sketches that are usually silly and pretty irreverent, but what I think show little glimpses into who we are as a couple, as human beings. I will say that this January short, I would consider it more of a sketch than a short film, and that this is something that I've been meaning to talk about on here for a while now, what I think a short film is, and ultimately I think it comes down to, I don't think it's in depth enough to make a full video about, because I think ultimately the difference between a short film and a sketch is just the character arc. I think if your characters start in a certain place emotionally, mentally, and then by the end of it end up in a different place. There's some kind of revelation or, screenplay stuff, story stuff, writing stuff. They've learned something, they've evolved. I think that's really the difference between a short and a sketch, where a sketch, just kind of a bit, and the characters aren't really learning anything, they're not changing, they're not growing, they're just kind of facilitating the bit. I think this Candace and Chris, the negotiation, I don't think we learn or grow throughout the course of it.
Maybe you've wiped your own poop.
And so in that way, I think it's a sketch. I got a little bit nervous when we were doing an If It's Christmas that was a sketch, because it's very silly and it's very kind of out there and irreverent. But ultimately, an If It's Christmas is a series of escalating events. And I don't think my character necessarily learned anything. I think the other characters, Brad, Maddie, Greg, and Tim, I think they end up in a different place at the end of it than they were at the beginning. And so it doesn't necessarily matter that it is just kind of a loosely structured string of bits. There is some kind of overarching arc? Is that something people say? To the story. Whereas the negotiation, January short, is an extended bit. But I'm okay with it, because February is gonna be epic. Epic's the wrong word. It's gonna be awesome. I'm working on that script right now. I believe
I'm Greg Johnson.
is working on something sci-fi for March, which I'm super pumped about. I swear to God in heaven that I am going to get Candace to sit down and record the first podcast this weekend, and maybe I'll launch it next week and I can talk about it on here next Friday. I'm saying it on here. I'm saying it on here because if I say it on here, I'm going to do it. It's going to make me do it. Where if I say it in here and up here, who knows? Who knows what goes on in those places? But anyway, go check out the short. Go check out Save the Arts. Go check out my website. Just go places. Go check out things. Click on links. Check out things. Watch stuff. Go do your laundry. Take a nap. Shower. Eat something. Grab a drink with friends. Go home and watch Friends. Subscribe to Peacock so you can watch The Office. Watch The Office again. Come back here. Leave a comment telling me why everyone always is asking you to leave comments. Like, stop pestering everyone to leave comments. They'll leave a comment if they want to. Stop asking them all the time. I'm looking out for you guys. I don't know where this is going. Okay. Subscribe to the channel. Good night.